What if I told you that a woman marked by pain since childhood performed miracles that still defy human logic? It seems impossible, but that's exactly what makes her stories so remarkable. Saint Rita of Cascia is so impressive. Before it was known as the Saint of Impossible Causes, Rita was just an ordinary girl, surrounded by challenges that would shape one of the most profound and moving spiritual journeys in the Catholic Church. Have you ever experienced something like that? That moment when everything seems too heavy, but somehow, something inside you insists on continuing. What you are about to discover may surprise you, because Rita's life was not made of easy victories, but of a silent strength that transformed suffering into grace, loss into faith, impossibility into miracle. She became a symbol of overcoming and forgiveness, not because of grand speeches, but because she carried in her skin and soul a love capable of piercing the darkest pain. And the closer we get to her story, the more we realize there's a mystery behind this woman who doesn't bend, who doesn't give up, who doesn't lose hope even when everything seems lost. Stay with me until the end, because each chapter of Saint Rita's life reveals something that deeply touches those who also face silent battles every day. Now, I want to take you even deeper into this journey. And when we begin to look more closely at the story of Saint Rita, something curious happens. We realize that behind each of her sufferings, there is a point of convergence with our own struggles. It's almost impossible not to identify, even if only a little, with this feeling of carrying more than seems bearable and still continuing. Rita wasn't a perfect heroine. She was human, full of fears, doubts, and scars. And perhaps that's exactly what makes so many people moved by her story even today. If this topic resonates with you, leave a comment below about what has touched you the most so far. Reading about your feelings creates a space for genuine exchange, and that's what transforms this channel into a vibrant community. And if you feel this story is helping you, leave a like. This helps YouTube deliver this type of message to more people who also need to hear something like this. And of course, if you want to continue journeying with me through profound stories like this, subscribe to the channel. Your presence here is what keeps all of this going. Now, continuing in that same vein, I want to take you even deeper into this journey. From a very young age, Rita's life seemed to carry a silent light, almost as if her own childhood already heralded something the world wasn't yet ready to understand. While other children ran through the streets of Cascia, she walked with rare serenity, a spontaneous devotion that didn't come from imposition, but from an intimate desire to be close to God. And it's curious to see how sometimes the first signs of a great journey appear behind the scenes of life, in details that only make sense when we look back. One of these signs profoundly marked her life: the mysterious white bees that entered and exited Rita's mouth when she was still a baby, without causing pain or leaving any wounds. To the neighbors, it was strange. To her parents, it was an omen. For us today, it is almost impossible not to see a hidden truth there, a kind of silent revelation about the extraordinary destiny that awaited her. And yet, this pure girl would walk towards difficult decisions, profound conflicts, and transformations that would change not only her life, but the faith of millions. The transition from the sweetness of childhood to the harshness of adulthood came as an unexpected blow to Rita. Without a choice, she was given in marriage to Paolo Mancini, a man marked by violent impulses and embroiled in political feuds that constantly left the house on the brink of chaos. For many, this would be a reason to flee. For her, it became an internal journey of resistance in faith. The humiliations, the moments of fear, the heavy silences that filled the nights, all of this shaped a strength that didn't scream, but remained firm, like someone who decides to transform each wound into a prayer. She carried the spirituality of the cross not as a burden, but as a path. And it's impressive to see how some people find light even in the darkest corners of life when everything seems lost. She endured, understood, and forgave far beyond what any human mind would deem possible. Paolo's death struck Rita like a shock that pierced her body and soul. After years of trying to contain the violence within her home, she now had to confront violence from outside. Her husband, murdered in an ambush, left behind not only a past of suffering, but also a trail of hatred that began to dominate the hearts of her children. Consumed by the idea of revenge, they began to nurture a dark desire to take justice into their own hands, repeating exactly the cycle that Rita had always tried to break. And it was at this point that her pain reached a level that few can imagine. She preferred to lose her children than to see them become murderers. It's a harsh truth, almost incomprehensible, but it reveals the depth of her faith and the impact her decisions would have on her own journey. What came next seemed unbearable. Both became seriously ill and died. For any mother, that would be the end. For Rita, it became a silent journey where each tear seemed to open space for a greater revelation about purpose, surrender, and the hidden side of spirituality. After losing everything, Rita turned entirely to spirituality, seeking in silence an answer to her own aim. It was then that an old, almost hidden desire arose within her to enter the Augustinian convent. But reality seemed merciless. 3 times she knocked on the doors, and 3 times she was rejected. The nuns feared receiving a woman marked by family conflicts and the violence that surrounded her life. Still, she persisted, guided by a conviction that went beyond logic. In her prayers, she invoked St. Augustine, St. Nicholas of Tolentino, and St. John the Baptist, asking them to guide her in this new phase of her journey. And then the inexplicable happened. One night, even with all the doors locked, Rita was found inside the convent in profound serenity. The nuns, astonished, recognized that something extraordinary had happened, a sign that none of them could deny. This moment marked not only a miracle, but a radical change in mentality and destiny. Comment below, I'm on this journey too. Within the convent, Rita's life followed a path of silence, service, and profound devotion. But it was there, in the heart of this simple routine, that one of the most impressive episodes of her spiritual journey took place. In a moment of intense prayer before the crucifix, she let slip a request that only someone completely surrendered would make: to participate in some way in the Passion of Christ. It was not dramatization, nor a search for recognition. It was a desire born from a hidden truth that burned within her, from a rare courage that surpasses any human logic. And then something that defies reason happened. According to accounts, a thorn from Christ's crown broke off and struck her forehead. The wound opened immediately, deep, painful, impossible to ignore. But what was most striking was that it never healed. On the contrary, it began to exude a strong and constant odor, making living with her fellow nuns extremely difficult. Even so, Rita never complained. She carried that pain as part of her mission, and even enveloped in suffering, she radiated a serenity that touched those who came near her. Even carrying the wound that had accompanied her for so many years, Rita became increasingly a light within the convent. Her last days were marked by profound fragility, but also by a peace that seemed to come from another place, as if she were seeing beyond what anyone around her could perceive. And it was precisely in this moment of greatest physical weakness that a simple gesture revealed something extraordinary.
They say that in the midst of a harsh winter, Rita asked for a rose and 2 figs from the garden of her old house, an impossible request, defying all natural logic. But when they went there, they found the rose open and the figs ripe, as if creation itself had decided to bow to her faith. This episode marked not only those who lived alongside her, but all who heard her story afterward. And when Rita finally passed away, something even more impressive happened. The wound that never healed completely disappeared, and a sweet perfume filled the convent, replacing years of unbearable odor. As if her own death was a silent sign that pain had been transformed into grace. Over the years, her body remained incorrupt, and testimonies of miracles multiplied until she became known throughout the world as the Saint of Impossible Causes. If you've made it this far, you can tell that the story of Saint Rita has touched you deeply, whether through her strength, her courage, or the mysterious way God transforms even the deepest sorrows. So, if you want to show me that you've walked with me to the end, leave a comment below. I'm with you until the end. It's simple, but it shows me that this message found a place in your heart. And of course, if this video brought clarity, hope, or even a breath of fresh air to your day, please leave a like. This helps YouTube understand that this type of content deserves to reach more people who are seeking faith and guidance. And if you want to continue on this journey with me, discovering stories that uplift, inspire, and touch the soul, subscribe to the channel. Here, there will always be a space for you to breathe, reflect, and strengthen your faith.